What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about why people are not traveling to the United States. So, apparently, some new data has come out showing a huge decline in tourism here to the US. And honestly, I don't think that this is something that enough Americans are worried about. And it's not something that we really are talking enough about here. Because this sounds very, very bad to me. And I mean, this definitely says something very bad about America's reputation right now. So today, I want to check out this video by Times News and learn about how bad this situation has gotten for the United States. So let's take a look.
The United States welcomes tens of millions of tourists from around the world every year. However,
Yeah.
despite its variety of star attractions, America's tourism industry is now in decline. So why are foreign tourists turning away from the land of the free?
I mean, if I had to guess, I think it's pretty obvious that it's because of what the United States has been doing. And it seems to have really started when Donald Trump was elected for the second time. And a lot of the stuff that he has been doing for over a year now, frankly, pissing off a lot of countries, starting trade wars. And it's escalated to where he's made threats against like Greenland, Canada. Now we're at war with Iran. There's actually endless things that you could really say about what Donald Trump and the United States government has done. So that's, obviously to me what sticks out the most. So is the decline in tourism to the United States, is that just all like political or like disagreeing with Trump and the US and people are just not happy with us and our leader? Is it that simple?
Recent data shows a worrying trend for the US tourism industry. The number of international arrivals to the US dropped by 5% in 2025 compared with the previous year.
5% decline. I mean, part of me thinks like I'm glad it's not bigger. Like I would have believed if it was like an even bigger number than that, but 5%, like that's actually insane when you think about that. Like a 5% decline in tourism to the United States, that's millions of people every year around the world who are deciding not to come to the US. And if you think about it from our point of view, like 5%, I don't know, if even if that's a million people who don't come here, that's like a million people who would have spent like hundreds of dollars on plane tickets, like $100. If they spend, if a million people come here and spend $100, that's $100 million. You know what I mean? Like, and it's probably millions of people. Like 5% of the international travel. That's like millions of people who would be buying hotels here, food, travel, exploring our country. That's billions of dollars. Like when you think about it, if you like run the math, that's got to be billions of dollars that we're losing now. So this is very, very, not to mention like it's bad financially for us, but also like we should be really embarrassed, We should be like, oh, people don't want to travel here. Like our reputation has been tarnished. Um, So yeah, like this is if you're an American, this should be very, very, very concerning.
The US has seen a reduction in tourism basically since Trump returned to the White House. That has been
Right.
driven particularly by countries like Canada, where there have been active kind of attempts to boycott spending money in the US because of Trump's threats to Canadian sovereignty.
Yes, that's a good example. Like Trump has that's a great example. Trump has literally threatened Canada to try to make Canada part of the U.S. and lots of tariffs on Canada and a lot of different things actually. And Canadians are like boycotting U.S. goods, like not buying our stuff and not traveling here, and it's made a big impact. And I guess this extends to not just Canada, but lots and lots of people, millions of people around the world. It turns out don't want to go somewhere where like the leader is Donald Trump and he's actively like threatening other countries. Like honestly, this should really not be that shocking. Like no American should really be that shocked at why people are upset with us and why people don't want to come here. That actually makes plenty of sense. Like I get it. But I think Americans should be like way more troubled. Like we should be really like talking about this and you know, this is really damaging our country. Um and yeah, I just feel like it's not a big enough discussion. Like yeah, and there's always like the next like now we're just talking about the news is just like Iran, like war with Iran. Like we just move on to the next thing and not addressing really important stuff like this, like the decline of the United States.
But you've also seen a decline basically in European visitors, and that is costing the US economy billions and billions of dollars.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
why are people more reluctant to holiday in America?
Oh, okay. Yeah, if they could like this is something like I'm very very curious about. Like what's the specific reasons like
There are various reasons why there is a decline. I mean, part of it is about the politics.
Sure.
So, for example, Canadian visitors are staying away specifically in protest at Trump's threats towards Canada. But then you
shouldn't that be such a big wake up call for every American? Like there are countries like Canada that are literally protesting us. I don't know if we're in denial. I mean, Americans, like, we're kind of known for not knowing what's going on in the rest of the world. But this is like, I feel like we've taken it so far this time. Like, Americans aren't even aware of how upset the rest of the world is at us. So it has to do with the rest of the world, but it also has to do with us. We're the ones at the root of it all. We're causing this. But since it's the rest of the world, like, I don't know, somehow we're not getting the message or so. It's really mind boggling, honestly.
But then you also have a kind of perception problem that is growing because of the protests that you saw in LA and Minneapolis that turned violent with the shootings of Rene Good and Alex Pretty.
Absolutely. That was a big wake up call for a lot of Americans who, I mean, you'd think at this point, like, every American would, like, be, like, woken up by now and be like, oh my God, like this, where ICE agents, like, shot and killed and murdered American citizens in the streets. Literally, if you've heard about Renee Good and Alex Peretti, like unbelievable. And we've already moved on from that discussion, actually, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, but you know, seeing everything, it's good to see the United States from an outside perspective. I think that's what's so valuable here. Because when you are American like me and you're living in the United States, you don't always get an outside perspective of how crazy things are, how crazy things look and explaining why people don't want to come here makes it pretty obvious.
By ICE agents. These sorts of kind of big events have obviously captured global audiences and maybe kind of dissuaded people from following through and booking holidays to the US.
Yeah, I had no idea if the ICE killings, shootings, if that was big news internationally. That was pretty big news here, but like I said, we've already kind of moved on from it.
In Trump's America, how easy is it to travel to the United States?
There are also changes that have been put forward by the Trump administration that would make it harder to come as a tourist to the US. I mean,
What? See, this directly affects the US, and I don't even know about this. Trump is making it more difficult to travel to the United States. That's insane. Like, obviously he does so many things that are insane. Some people think that's like his strategy, to do so many insane things you can't possibly keep up with all of it. Whether that's true or not, I hadn't heard about this. Like, why would we want to discourage people? Why would we want to make it harder to come to the United States? People already don't want to come. Why are we also making it harder?
most people will travel to the US on an ESTA, which is just a kind of tourism visa, essentially. Under the new changes, you already have to kind of answer a few questions, but the new changes proposed by the Trump administration would see kind of pretty aggressive vetting of people's social media profiles. They'd have
What? What? Is this a thing? Is this just an idea, or is this actually happening? If you come to the United States, they might check your social media? For what? What?
to supply details of what they've been posting over the past several years. And that has kind of alarmed people who maybe have tweeted once that they don't like Trump very much.
This is so incredibly disturbing. This is insane. This should be such a big wake-up call for every American. Like, that is the most un-American thing ever. We are supposed to believe in freedom of speech in the United States. We talk about it all the time, but you're telling me our government might look at your phone or your social media posts, and if you have posted something negative about Trump, that might actually, like, you might not get allowed in to the United States? That's totally unacceptable. That is totally anti-American. I can't believe that. Is that actually like happening?
And they fear that, that could ruin their holiday. So that's another reason that has kind of caused anxiety and kind of apprehension about coming to the US.
Of course. I mean, God, if there was another country that was doing all these things that the US is doing, I wouldn't want to go there. So it makes total sense that people don't want to come here. This is outrageous.
The next few years are pretty critical for the US tourism industry, starting just this summer with the World Cup, which is being hosted by the US, Mexico, and Canada. But then also you've got the LA Olympics in 2028. And yet there's this reputational problem that the US tourism industry is trying to battle, which is trying to convince visitors that it's still safe and they're still welcome in the
People don't think it's safe here. And I can't blame you. Definitely doesn't make you feel welcome. Oh my God. This is just, I think because, if you're an American citizen, you don't have to really think about this stuff. This is stuff that you only think about if you're outside the US, trying to travel here. Then you know about all this annoying, crazy stuff. But it's outrageous. It's incredibly disturbing. Even for any American that learns this is definitely not something that we are talking about or really know about. That's, oh my God. Yeah. Are people going to want to come for the Olympics? Are they going to want to come for the World Cup? I don't know. Probably not.
US, which is quite something that, at a time when you would be expecting America to be experiencing a boom in tourism and profiting from these big world events taking place. In fact,
Yeah.
the opposite is happening.
How sad is that? Truly, like, I hate to say it, but truly, like, another indication of the decline of the US. This was so disturbing. Wow. Quite a few things here about tourism to the US that I did not know about. Wow. And I honestly don't even. And the fact that we're not even really talking about it here is also really disturbing. Yeah, Americans need to like get a grip. I don't know. I think in many ways a lot of us feel kind of powerless so long as Donald Trump is the president of the US. You feel a little powerless. Like the craziness is going to continue, and if anything, it just seems to be getting worse. But there are going to be like elections and midterms held in the U.S. for other government positions, and there's stuff that we can do to try to change the trajectory of the U.S. I hope, but this should be a really big wake up call for every American. I wish more people knew about this. Wow. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on tourism declining to the US. Or if you've ever tried to travel to the US or what you think about traveling to the US right now, or that'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.